Today's matinee is a fun spin on the inner city rivalry as we have a public school and a private school, both from Minneapolis. The Minneapolis North Polars at 3-2 host the DeLaSalle Islanders at 6-3. Both schools perennials in their respective classes, and this year is looking like no exception. Hello everyone, I'm Mike Beaton, all by myself, talking to myself. That's Chaos Theory. These two teams have met annually, at least until last year, due to the pandemic-shortened season. But if you are a fan of defense, this matchup should be a blast. These are two defensively oriented teams. Minneapolis North likes to use the 1-2-2 press to force turnovers and wreak havoc on the opposing side, and they've done that with some level of success. They're 3-2. They had a close loss to Simeon at the Sanford Pentagon, and the most recent game was a loss to Park Center. But Trent Witz, I talked to him beforehand, he feels this will be the first game where his team is truly at full strength. They got a big boost with the transfer of Gani Stevens, and you also have D'Amico Anderson and Willie Wilson leading the way. So that trio has helped anchor the Polars. Historically, they start slow. A lot of that has to do with the football crossovers and the lengthy state tournament run they make. But they are a team that improves as the season moves along, and no stranger to tough matchups either. It's a customary thing since Larry McKenzie took over many years ago. This is the latest in a series of high-quality non-conference games. Eastridge and Wayzata are some of the teams they will play later in the year. DeLaSalle, they've won 3 in a row, coming off a 100-point effort against Brooklyn Center. They also picked up a key win over Benilde St. Margaret's, dropped a close one with the Tino Grace, dropped a close one with Minneapolis South. So this DeLaSalle team, they may not have the superstars of years past when they won 6 Class 3A tournament titles in a row, but they have someone who can cash in big time, and that's not just because we like to use money puns. His name is Cash Chavis. Nasir Whitlock is another player to keep an eye on, and Kyle Johnson. Those three have hooked up well for the Islanders. The interesting point, the interesting side plot in this game will be their ability to respond to Gani Stevens. DeLaSalle may not have a direct answer for him, so ball control will be crucial. If you turn the ball over too many times, that will give North a lot of opportunities to run, and that could spell trouble for the Islanders. The last time these two teams met, it was a 1-point decision. We'll see what this edition brings when we return.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
Game winners.
From James. She's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot! It goes in!
And everything in between. Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
And once again, we welcome you to Minneapolis North High School. North Community High School is the official name, but a lot of memories. And speaking of memories, just a moment ago, we paid tribute to the late Jim Robinson, the longtime coordinator of officials for the Minnesota State High School League, the first black citizen to be an official in the Big Ten Conference, and one of basketball's greatest supporters. I spoke with his successor at the high school league, the coordinator of officials, and we both shared a laugh when we reminisced about Jim Robinson's impact, specifically the fact that he has covered more games or attended more games than just about anyone else. No matter his role, you would always find him in a gym, and he was highly supportive of both male and female athletes. Jimmy Robinson left a legacy that will never be replicated, duplicated, but he's paved the way for a lot of people who look like him to establish their own careers in basketball. Here are the starters for DeLaSalle. It's Amir Everett, number 10. Cash Chavis, number 11. Brendan Hoban, number 15. Kyle Johnson, number 23. And Nasir Whitlock, number 30. North will start. D'Amico Anderson, number 1. Rio Sanders, number 2. Butler Jacob, number 11. Willie Wilson, number 24. And Gani Stevens, number 50. Gani, the 6'7" senior. Willie Wilson leads North in scoring at 17.8 points per game. Gani Stevens and Jacob Butler among the leaders in rebounds at 6.4. And for DeLaSalle, Whitlock and Chavis both averaging 14 points per game. We are underway. North wearing the blue and DeLaSalle wearing the white. The white Mindstone uniforms, as Travis Bledsoe has jokingly referred. Minneapolis North won by a single point in their last meeting 2 years ago. These two could not play last season due to the pandemic-shortened season. And as we said at the Open, North, they play a tough schedule. Par for the course when Larry McKenzie took over. Simeon, one of the top teams from Illinois. Park Center, the top team in Class 4A. They get Eastridge, defending 4A champion Wayzata later this season. Hopkins, that annual series. 3 on the way. North has struggled from three-point range in the early part of the season. Just 15 of 85 entering this game. DeLaSalle gets on the board on a Kyle Johnson triple. Johnson averaging 10.2 a game. DeLaSalle led by Travis Bledsoe. He took over for the longtime head coach Dave Thorson. Dave returning to the Minnesota coaching ranks. Gani Stevens flips it in, and at 6'7", he'll get a lot of prime opportunities to score down low. Runner is short for the Islanders. The rebound is tipped to Cash Chavis. DeLaSalle wins the scrum, and Amir Everett goes up for the layup. A lot of notable alumni in recent years with these two. Minneapolis North, of course. Graduated Tyler Johnson, who is now a Super Bowl champion, playing his second season with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. DeLaSalle had Tyrell Terry, who entered the NBA. Jamison Battle playing at Minnesota. Deep three for the Polars. Swish. Rio Sanders. I don't think he could get any closer to the baseline there, that sideline. DeLaSalle looking for the answer. Whitlock's three is short. The rebound by Willie Wilson. And an offensive foul on Stevens. He's pleading his case with the official, but from here, Cash Chavis, he was set in time, well outside the restricted zone. Pretty easy call to make from my vantage point. And a solid defensive stance on the part of Chavis. Here comes the 1-2-2 pressure. We talked about that in the Open. North likes to run it, but DeLaSalle breaks it. And a bit of a collision there between Kyle Johnson and Butler Jacob. Incidental. And no ill will for either party. But DeLaSalle, they lead 7-5. Off balance drive does not fall for the Polars. Amir Everett scoops it up. DeLaSalle with numbers. Chavis can't bounce it in. Gani Stevens, that's going to be 2 quick fouls on Minneapolis North starting center. And shooting free throws will be Amir Everett. Everett averaging 7.1 points per game. We mentioned in the open DeLaSalle, they've won 3 in a row, beating Benilde St. Margaret's, Tri-Metro rival Holy Angels, and blowing out Brooklyn Center 104-38. They lost a close one with Totino Grace a couple weeks ago, and Minneapolis South. So DeLaSalle, they're right there. And again, they may not have the superstars of years past, but they have the history, they have the pedigree. They're usually in the conversation. That being said, their section has an up-and-coming South St. Paul team. So we'll have to see what happens there. Minneapolis North in a favorable section. They're still in 5. DeLaSalle off to a 9-5 start. DeLaSalle began the season with an out-of-state team in Shadow Hills. And of course, they have a couple of big games. The one with Cretin-Durham Hall, naturally. DeLaSalle can't save it. Minnetonka as well. They've been one of the surprises in the lake. They'll host Minnetonka on Saturday, February 12th. .7:15 starts. North has the ball after the DeLaSalle turnover. Going baseline and drawing the foul is Willie Wilson. Wilson, as we noted, leading the team in scoring, 17.8 points per game. 53% free throw shooter. Historically, North doesn't have a ton of sharpshooters from the charity stripe, but again, it's the early part of the season. They go light in December to give time for their football crossovers to get their legs under them. Wilson averaging 3.2 assists per game to lead the team. And he knocks down both free throws. 9-7 the score. DeLaSalle with the lead, but again it's early. Drawing another foul is Nasir Whitlock. And North having to play a bit smaller owing to the foul trouble on Gani Stevens. So Avon Sager is out there. Rio Sanders hit with his first personal foul. Whitlock averaging 14.3 points per game. He knocks down both freebies. DeLaSalle off to a terrific start from the free throw line. Here come the Polars on the drive. They had a couple of chances on the follow-through. Zayshawn Rich ends up drawing the foul, and they'll give him the shooting motion. Even though he came up soft on the tap-ins, he'll have a chance to score some points at the line. Rich averaging 8.6 points per game. The team's best free throw shooter at 76. And he's also a defensive weapon for Minneapolis North with 6.4 rebounds and 2.4 assists. Rich, he can get boards on both sides of the ball. He leads the team in offensive rebounds, so he gets after it and puts himself in position for those second chance plays. Splits at the line, so DeLaSalle leads by 3. A sluggish start for the Islanders. Or I should say sluggish start as far as the flow. The Islanders are anything but sluggish so far. Three on the way. Kyle Johnson knocks down his second triple, and he's got a quick 8. North saw a lane, but a hustle play on the part of Kyle Johnson. And I had to pause because there's a railing that obscures my vantage point from the near corner. But Butler Jacob tried to go in on an attack. Kyle Johnson snuck behind him and tapped the ball out. North hangs on to it, but still a good hustle play on the part of Johnson to prevent a short-range look. And Minneapolis North still getting after it on the offensive side. Avon Sager collects the board, and he'll go to the line. And Sager averaging nearly 6 rebounds a game. So Minneapolis North, they have a lot of guys who can work the boards. Sager doesn't score a lot, just 4.4 a game. But I'm impressed with how many rebounding specialists are on this Polars team. You've got 3 that are averaging 6.5, and Sager not far behind. That gives them plenty of options and plenty of utility. Another split at the line. Drive to the lane was denied by Zayshawn Rich. Willie Wilson follows up on the other end. (14-10) is the score. DeLaSalle leading Minneapolis North. We have a quick conference with the officials. Quick move, and the baseline jumper for Detrell McCrimmon. And that was quick. He's got a lot of speed. So the score was corrected, 14-13. That's what I had in my thing. So it's a 1-point game. They just didn't tabulate a point on the board. So 14-13 is the score. And that is another offensive foul, this time on Wilson, as he bumped Nasir Whitlock, sent him to the floor. That's just his first, but Minneapolis North, they're gonna have to be more mindful of that. DeLaSalle's stoic persona on defense, helping them to hold off Minneapolis North. 3 is short from Whitlock. And the rebound to Wilson. He's doubled. Finds the swift McCrimmon, who will go coast to coast. And the North fans loving that showcase of speed. DeLaSalle trying to answer on the other end. They cannot. dead ball rebound to the Polars. 11:06 to go. Minneapolis North with the 1-point lead, 15-14. Cash Chavis displeased with the ruling. Look at McCrimmon. I don't see a lot of guys who can move that fast, but he can, and he uses his speed to connect with Devon Sager for a quick score. So McCrimmon gets the dime. Doesn't get a lot of assists. On the other end, DeLaSalle draws the foul, and now the fans are starting to get into it. Minneapolis North, they love their basketball. A lot of history with this program, a lot of state championships. Most recently, 2016, 2017. Free throws coming for Amir Everett. North on an 8-0 run. And they could extend it after DeLaSalle blanks at the line. Long skip, long three. McCrimmon with his speed. Of course, he'll track down a long carom. Technically, the rebound was tipped to him, but he can snipe anything within his reach. And we have a stoppage in play because the lights were inadvertently switched off. Trent Witz, one of the assistants, went over there. Back to action. First weekend of the season, we had a similar situation unfold at St. Thomas Academy where the lights mysteriously powered off. Wilson. Bounce pass over to Jacob, but he can't control it. And we'll have a jump ball. DeLaSalle with the arrow, 9:43 left in the first half. As you know, well, if you're in Minneapolis, it's been in place for a few days, but mask mandate has been reinstated, so everyone in attendance having to mask up. In my case, I have two. As we do what we can to try to keep people safe. Stepping into the elbow J was Whitlock, but he comes up short. North looking to push. Wilson drew contact, nothing called. So Willie Wilson will get credit for the finish. And it's a 10-0 run for the Polars. DeLaSalle turning it over, and that will be enough for Travis Bledsoe to call a timeout. 9:06 remaining in the first half. And Minneapolis North with the 19-14 lead using a 10-0 run. And a reminder that if you'd like to support long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros, we have 3 ways for you to do so. Patreon, PayPal, and Cash App. Patreon.com/TSB Television. PayPal and Cash App at TSB Television. Every contribution goes directly to our sports coverage and makes what we do possible.
So once again, we ask that you help do your part to slow the spread of COVID-19 by wearing your face mask at all times, covering both your mouth and your nose. Please socially distance. And
Some early trends. Kyle Johnson unofficially with a quick 8, but DeLaSalle stuck in a rut. Willie Wilson up to 6. North getting some good production from their bench early. Part of that is the early foul trouble on Gani Stevens, forcing North to go smaller. Bowlers have the ball. Wilson, quick skip to Yvonne Sager. North on the drive. Foul before the shot. DeLaSalle had a few to give.
Taking the ball out for the Bowlers, number 2, Nico. Subbing in for the Bowlers, number 13, Zane.
Minneapolis North recently hosting a holiday event where they invited Yates, the alma mater of George Floyd. The George Floyd Classic is the official name. Park Center also took part. They beat Minneapolis North in the championship round, so that event bringing a couple of out-of-state teams into North Central. Drew a big crowd and got a lot of media coverage. Probably wouldn't surprise you that Minneapolis North and Larry McKenzie and his crew would make that gesture. Willie Wilson will go to the line for 2 as he drew the foul on the attempt. So Wilson, who made his first 2 free throws, will try to pad his numbers. But George Floyd, a name that will never be forgotten in this city and beyond. And even though he's no longer with us, Minneapolis North taking a big step to honor the legacy, to honor the impact that one citizen had. Willie Wilson knocks down both free throws, so he's a perfect 4-4 from the line. And Minneapolis North extending their lead, unofficially a 12-0 run. DeLaSalle looked like they found the hot button with their shooting. And that has since dissipated. DeLaSalle coughs it up. And drawing the foul was Rio Sanders. Last to give for the Islanders. That defense of North, though, we said before in the open, it has a way of hampering opponents if you're not prepared for it. Rio Sanders missing the front end on the season. Sanders not the strongest of free throw shooters. And I have to issue a correction. 2 is Anderson. And 1 is Sanders. So a couple of the rosters had Sanders and Anderson inverted. Minneapolis North trying to extend this run. DeLaSalle's scoring drought continues. McCrimmon couldn't knock down the runner. DeLaSalle looking to get anything going. But they're having a tough time against North pressure defense. Corner three does not drop for Miles Dillon Parks. And McCrimmon stepped on the line, so a turnover on the Polars. Lots of great basketball between these two. And again, many memories with their multitude of state tournament championships. So DeLaSalle, they've been stuck at 14 for a long time. Here's Chavis, draws coverage. Pulling up and knocking down a 13-footer was Miles Dillon Parks, number 24. North in a little bit of trouble. McCrimmon will reset. Again, showcasing a lot of speed when he sees a lane to attack. And some fine footwork on the part of Zayshawn Rich. He did a jump hop to set himself up down low and scored the layup. North pressuring again. DeLaSalle penetrates. Everett was covered. Islanders might try for a reset here. Nope. Instead, they run a give and go. And Ellis Todd floats it in. So now DeLaSalle awakening offensively. Larry McKenzie not pleased with what he's seeing. He'll call a timeout with 4:48 left in the first half. And a 5-point gain, 23-18. For the Polars, they began their season with a close win over Minnehaha Academy. Of course, the Redhawks going back to earth, as the Hoop Czar put it, with no Jalen Suggs or Chet Holmgren. They went to the Sanford Pentagon, lost a close one with Simeon, 48-47. Took care of Patrick Henry, although it was close for a while in their first conference game, 82-53. They have another non-conference game awaiting them on Wednesday with Edina, but Edina playing without their top point guard. So we'll see what happens in that matchup. But Minneapolis North scheduling 3 Lake teams outside the conference. Butler Jacob attempted to navigate traffic, and he'll get free throws out of it.
Number 24. Shooting to vertical.
That's Jacob Butler. And he knocks down the front end. So that is Jacob Butler. Well, the way I see it, I'm getting all these mulligans out of the way so when I cover North again, I'll know who's who. But however you call them, Butler knocks down the pair of free throws, and it's 25-18. DeLaSalle with a quick skip. They don't see an opening, so they tried to go in, but Brandon Holman is called for the charge. We should point out that DeLaSalle is out of fouls to give. It was DeLaSalle that got the early edge. North scored a 12-0 run to build a 7-point lead. And here's Wilson. Tried to use the fake. Chavis was ready for it. And the official ruling is jump ball. DeLaSalle with the arrow. Or is it? North is saying it's their ball. And now we're going to have a discussion at the scores table. The possession arrow pointed to DeLaSalle, but apparently they forgot to switch it over. So it is North who has the ball on the arrow. Either way, North getting a defensive stop on the slash from Hoban. You don't see that often. A lot of times when you get the stop or attempt to, when a player is driving like that, it usually results in a foul. Jacob Butler scoops it in. Butler's up to 4, and Minneapolis North has their largest lead of the game, 27-18. DeLaSalle forcing another tie-up. This time, DeLaSalle should have the arrow. Yes. Another stoppage in play. And I believe, I can't hear what the officials are saying with this headset on. I believe they issued a sideline warning. Everett to Chavis. A swift baseline attack on the part of Nasir Whitlock. He goes in for the finish, 27-20. North throws it away. DeLaSalle made a play for it. Chavis drew the foul. That was a gutsy move on the part of Chavis. He got the ball just before it went out of bounds. And I say gutsy because that was a free ball to DeLaSalle. Instead, Chavis attacked and tried to turn it into an easy score. That is the second foul on Wilson, so he's got 2 now. 2 players with 2 fouls. He'll go to the bench. And Avon Sager will take over. Nasir Whitlock gets the friendly bounce on the runner. 3 ball. North unable to hit the corner. But they do track it down. and Sager will go in for a second chance bucket. Rich is also out there for the Polars. Chavis, he's got it. Chavis through traffic. He's getting more confident. And that might seem treacherous, but if you know how to work your way through tight spaces, you can get a scoring play out of it. And that's the third time Minneapolis North has been hit with an offensive foul. Second time on a set play as Kyle Johnson takes one for the team, proverbially speaking. With 1:57 to go, DeLaSalle looking to end the first half with the pendulum swinging in their direction. Three on the way. Swish. Whitlock to Johnson. And Kyle Johnson, I've got him at 11. That makes it a 2-point game. And Whitlock with some stingy defense. Forced his assignment to go out of bounds. DeLaSalle can tie or take the lead. Their energy has returned after they were stuck on a lengthy scoring drought that allowed North to build a 12-0 run. Another three. No triple for Johnson that time. This is Anderson. .53 seconds. No shot clock, so North can take as much time as they need. They step into the three, and that goes over the backboard. That Anderson's three that was a little high. DeLaSalle playing a little clock management. Interesting. It won't matter though because Jacob Butler timed the pass and he gets the bounce. Butler having some success on runners. Big swing, another steal forced by the North pressure. They'll back off, they have time, plenty of it. 15 seconds. What a move! But no bucket by Anderson. North will still have it though because DeLaSalle couldn't collect the rebound. So the Polars will have 10.9 to make something happen. Ryan, he's swarmed and coughs it up. Chavis on the run. Another big swing. We had a few of them. And as a result, the first half, perhaps a score you would expect, but the way we got there, a little unconventional. 31-29, DeLaSalle getting a big swing in their direction with the steal and run out by Cash Chavis. So what could have been maybe a 6 or 7 point lead is instead a 2-point margin between two competitive teams, two teams we could very well see in the Final 8 in their respective classes. That was an entertaining first half. I can't wait to see what happens in the second half. Stick around. This is high school boys basketball.
Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting, and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves.
Holloman, good if it goes. Yes!
game winners.
James, she's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot. It goes in.
And everything in between.
Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching.
Second half about to start between Minneapolis North and DeLaSalle. Mike Beaton all by myself, talking to myself, but there was a lot to talk about in that first half now that we have sorted out everything as far as names and numbers go. 31-29 the score at the half, and DeLaSalle ending it with some flair, getting the steal and a run out from Cash Chavis to end the first half and make it a 2-point game. Unofficially, Kyle Johnson has 11 points, Nasir Whitlock has 6, Chavis and Everett have 4 each for the Islanders. For North, Willie Wilson has 8. They got some solid bench production, Sager with 5, McCrimmon with 4, but they were impacted by early foul trouble on Gani Stevens. He has 2 fouls, and Willie Wilson has 2 fouls. So we'll have to monitor that as the game moves along. One of the rivalries that Larry McKenzie put in place. DeLaSalle Hopkins, one of the many staples. Of course, Larry McKenzie, a long history with Minneapolis athletics. Nasir Whitlock starts the second half with the runner. DeLaSalle, they've been favoring that throughout this game. Their ability to hit runners certainly helping them. Remember, they had a lengthy field goal drought, a lengthy scoring drought, as North went on a 12-0 run. DeLaSalle changed that in a hurry, and North throws it away. And DeLaSalle, again, they will be a team to watch. They had a close one with Totino Grace back in December. Totino Grace, the #1 team in 3A, and arguably the top team in the state. One of them, at least. North on the move. Nothing called, we play on. And it will be DeLaSalle ball. Mario Sanders was unable to find the bucket on that slash. Here's Everett. DeLaSalle swings it around. Not let it to go in. Everett again. Guarded by Sanders. He'll kick out. Tie game. Cash Chavis momentarily lost his balance, but not enough to disrupt his drive. Quick timeout by the Bullers as DeLaSalle takes the lead on a pair of scores to start the second half. Looking ahead at the DeLaSalle schedule, the game with Minnetonka, that will be one to keep an eye on. The Islanders end the season with a pair of Lake teams, Wayzata and Hopkins. So they will get a couple of big tests. And DeLaSalle, they have played Hopkins well over the years. They end the regular season with 3 non-conference games. Of course, the rivalry game with Cretin-Durham Hall. Although the Raiders are off to a slow start. We'll see if they can turn things around with Trey Holloman, the Michigan State recruit. Wayzata and Hopkins. Wayzata's top player went to a prep school, but they still have a lot. But the parity in the 4A field is something to behold, and that has been the case historically for a long time. Another offensive foul on the Polars. Mario Sanders once again extended that elbow, and that is a no-no. You do that, and you might get tagged with the foul. So the Polars running into some headwinds. Chavis short, and the rebound goes to the Polars. They're trying to run it out. Willie Wilson dodging traffic. Tie game. Whitlock dribbled it off his leg. North with numbers again. Anderson to the line. And Hoban is hit with his third foul. Anderson, a 75% free throw shooter, averaging 13.3 points per game. 3 rebounds, 3 steals. North's free throw shooting, by the way, was a welcome sight in the first half, 8 of 10. Free throws have been elusive in the early part of the season. Coming in, they were shooting just 58%. But that's not the case here. A fine hesitation move on the part of Everett down low to get around his defender, or at least get his shooting arm around his defender. We're tied at 35. Wilson. Faking the three. Going up and finishing is Anderson. D'Amico with a razzle-dazzle drive to the bucket. And D'Amico is up to 7 on a quick burst here. DeLaSalle had an opening for a minute. Well, they'll get free throws on the foul.
Going to the line, shooting for the Islanders, number 12.
Israel Moses on the line. Jacob Butler hit with a foul. Moses averaging 6.5 points per game. We spoke of the lengthy state tournament history for DeLaSalle. Travis Bledsoe, no stranger to that. Graduated from the school in 2005 and no stranger to greatness when it comes to basketball. For several years, he was on the Minnesota Lynx scout team. As you know, most WNBA teams, I think all of them have male scout teams to help prepare them for games. Bledsoe has coached both boys and girls hoops. Was the girls coach at Centennial for a time. But Willie Wilson doesn't care about that. He gets the contact and the continuation. And he'll have a chance for a three-point play. Willie Wilson up to 12. And that is the second foul on Moses. And while we're on the subject of alumni, DeLaSalle ball. We can't go forward without mentioning some of the North alumni that found success. Ben Coleman, no longer with us, but he had an NBA career, part of the draft class of '84. Khalid El-Amin, we'll never forget him. DeLaSalle connects on the three. Nasir Whitlock off the quick skip. DeLaSalle retakes the lead. Cash Chavis got a little too close. He'll be hit with his first personal foul, and that's what you don't want. In a close game like this, you don't want to pick up cheap fouls in a situation like that. Mishandled dribble on the part of Jacob Butler. He'll pick it up for the backcourt violation. I was wondering if we were going to have a similar situation like the last time. It was more often than not. DeLaSalle with a fake on the drive to set up a three. That's an interesting move. It looked like Chavis could have gone in if he wanted. Three ball, corner pocket. Minneapolis North, not known as a perimeter shooting team, at least from three-point range. But McCrimmon drains the corner triple. And Minneapolis North will take it. Here's Chavis on the run. Can't get the bounce. Sager with the rebound. The last meeting was a defensive slugfest. It looks like this could turn into a shootout. McCrimmon with back-to-back triples. Timeout. DeLaSalle. 45-40. Detrell McCrimmon had just one three-pointer entering this game. 1 of 8. So not a lot of reps, but you look up and down this roster, a lot of North players struggling to find their triples. Anderson, just 15%. Willie Wilson, 19%. Avon Sager, 1 of 10 entering this game. McCrimmon, 1 of 8. He hits a couple of big ones. And entering this game, McCrimmon averaging just 3.2. But he is leading the Minneapolis North bench in a game where production from their starting center, Gani Stevens, has been limited. And I spoke with the hoop czar, and in his view, he thought DeLaSalle's lack of a matchup against Stevens would be a factor. Well, Stevens is on the bench, hasn't played all that well, and again had the early foul trouble. North bringing the pressure on the inbound. And now they get the ball. So they have a chance to pick up some more momentum and bolster their prospects. Minneapolis North, of course, this is a team. Oh, what do we have here? A technical foul was called on the DeLaSalle bench. bench technicals, so it will not count to any player's tally, in case you were wondering. But that gives North a couple of freebies at the line. D'Amico Anderson has the free throw line to himself. Frustrations boiling over on the part of DeLaSalle. And North on an 8-0 run. And they'll keep the ball. They had it to begin with. That was why I needed a moment to assess the situation on the technical foul, but it was against DeLaSalle. So North will take those points and say thank you very much as they lead 47-40. 8 in a row for the Polars. Remember, they had a 12-0 run after trailing 14-10 early. 3-ball, corner pocket. McCrimmon again. And the steal. And one. A 13-0 run. Anderson has a chance to make it a 14-0 run. The situation is unraveling for the Islanders, but they break the North press, at least for the moment. They'll have to run a set, but they can work their way back. We've seen them work their way through adversity before, and remember, they haven't suffered any big losses. That's a foul on the Polars. So this is a DeLaSalle team that has been tested. They've taken a couple of hits along the way. That foul was the first on Zayshawn Rich. North still has 3 to give. Scramble for the ball. Foot race. Still loose and picked up by DeLaSalle. They've got numbers. The dish, the hezzy, and the finish for Cash Chavis. And that was a play DeLaSalle needed in the worst way. After seeing their deficit grow to double digits. But a long way to go. Remember, we saw at this very gym a few years ago, St. Paul Central come back from 22 down. McCrimmon determined not to let that happen. He draws the foul as he tried to set up an entry pass. And that is the last foul to give for the Islanders. That is also the third on Israel Moses. And technical foul on North. Zayshawn Rich getting flustered and taking exception to something. Larry McKenzie getting an explanation. So DeLaSalle will go to the line for 2. And things are starting to get chippy in this inner city rivalry. DeLaSalle, the private school in downtown Minneapolis, not too far from Minneapolis North, Nicollet Island. So Kyle Johnson will have the free throw line to himself. And those are his first points of the second half. DeLaSalle will take over. So a couple of tacks, one to the DeLaSalle bench, one to Rich. And a blocking foul is called on the Polars. And that is the third foul on Sager. Like we said, this is getting a little chippy. We're starting to see a little feistiness between these two. Sports can be highly emotional. Kyle Johnson. DeLaSalle would have loved that three. Instead, North with a fast break dunk. And the officials having to do crowd control again. There's some spectators in the front row who have been getting a little jumpy with some of these big plays by North. They're not trying to taunt, at least from up here. They're not taunting or throwing shade at anybody. They're just getting really excited. So the officials are having a conversation. DeLaSalle, they're calling for a non-bench or a bench technical here, because that's the second time they've had to stop play. 10:19 to go in the second half. So a delay of game warning has been issued. And DeLaSalle, they were calling for the tech because 2 delay of games would result in that. Travis Bledsoe speaking with the officials. Larry McKenzie there as well, because Travis and the DeLaSalle players are pleading that that's the second time officials have had to stop play. And we will resume. So a delay of game warning. Officially, that is the first. Again, fans, spectators cannot go on the floor. Yes, I know it's exciting to see a dunk and to see three-pointers and all of that, but you can't disrupt the flow of the game. Amir Everett showing his flow on that play. He'll have a chance for a three-point play. Everett averaging 7.1 points per game, as we noted before. The 6'1" senior forward. And he completes the three-point play. And that makes it an 8-point game, so we have seen a turbulent second half. A couple of technicals, a couple of stoppages. Here come the Polars, flashing their way down court. Willie Wilson will clean it up. And Wilson up to 14. Well, like I told you in the first half, Minneapolis North, they love their basketball. And as you saw just a moment ago, they get really hyped when they see a big play happen. Nasir Whitlock knocks down the long jumper and puts him up to 13. And DeLaSalle hit with a foul. Chavis checked McCrimmon. So Chavis hit with his third personal. Both teams out of fouls to give. So free throws will be on the docket the rest of the way. And that will give McCrimmon a chance to pad his numbers. McCrimmon, 13 points, 9 in the second half. Coming off the bench to give the Polars a much-needed dose, a much-needed booster, if you will. And McCrimmon was 1 of 2 entering this game from the free throw line. It hasn't gone there often, but he knocks down both there. (59-49) as McCrimmon goes up to 15 points. Stevens throwing a little bit of a check. And Butler gets the roll. And I mean rolled. North calls a timeout. And Larry McKenzie is all the way out in the middle of the court. He must not have liked something he saw. He made an emphatic timeout call. I didn't see what transpired after the made basket by Butler, but I think he wanted to get his troops settled. What a game this is turning out to be, and I don't know what Jim Robinson would say if he were here, but as Maury Friesleben, the principal of North High School, noted, Jim Robinson, you would be sitting about where we are, in the same section that is. I'd see him at boys' games, girls' games, and whether he was there as a fan or there as an evaluator, you knew if he was in the house, it was a big game. And speaking of big games, the second half, an eventful one. We have seen our share of crazy memories, crazy, wild, fun memories of Minneapolis North. You get everything here. North with the steal. That was Sanders, but he can't hang on to it. Break for the Islanders, and with less than 9 to go, this is where DeLaSalle needs to make a move if they want to work their way back. A three-pointer would help, but that bounces off the back iron. Sanders collects another rebound. And a chance for the Polars to ice it. Sanders. DeLaSalle player goes to the floor. No look shovel pass from Rich to Stevens. And DeLaSalle calls a quick timeout and a technical. DeLaSalle called a timeout. We're going to have free throws following the timeout as a technical was issued. Just as the timeout was called by DeLaSalle, there was a technical, and I only saw the tail end of it, but that technical is going to go against Nasir Whitlock. As you know, player technicals do count against the team and the player at this level. So North is going to get free throws following the timeout, and I believe they'll get the ball as well. You saw Whitlock and Wilson. I only saw the tail end of it as I was jotting down my score sheet. All of a sudden I see Whitlock and Wilson going at each other, and this has become a highly emotional game. And again, that happens. It doesn't matter what level, doesn't matter the gender. Tempers sometimes come into play. These are two schools with a history of strong, talented basketball, and I imagine several of these teams have connections, so sometimes it can lead to some heated exchanges. So Wilson at the line. It's resulted in a more choppy flow in this second half because of the numerous stoppages we've had. We had a delay of game warning issued because fans got on the floor and officials had to stop play. We've had a few technicals. Three technicals all together. DeLaSalle with the steal and the slam. Cash Chavis completes the three-point play, and he got quite the salute from the DeLaSalle fans in attendance. DeLaSalle was looking for a play to awaken their slumber, but do they have enough time? The skip, three ball, quarter pocket. Jacob Butler joins the three-point party, and this is an element missing for Minneapolis North in their earlier games, three-point shooting. But they get a little too aggressive on defense, and that will be a foul on Butler. His second. Whitlock to the line, 1-and-1. 7:14 to go. Minneapolis North up big here. And an empty possession for the Islanders. DeLaSalle, the gold standard in Class AAA basketball for a long time. In fact, during that run of 6 in a row, 7 out of 8 years. Hang on, we've got another three, and it's good. Another foul on the Polars. I couldn't see it. It's on Willie Wilson. He must have been teed up. It's worth noting that Johnson has not scored a field goal in the second half. It looked like he was going to erupt after a respectable first half effort. Whitlock was calling for an intentional foul there, or making that signal. Again, I didn't see what happened because of the crowd in their celebration. So all I know is DeLaSalle's in the double bonus. That's the only thing I can tell you. So Nasir Whitlock goes to the line. DeLaSalle will shoot 2 free throws the rest of the way. The question is, do they have time? North went on a 14-0 run, and they have not been threatened since. Whitlock having himself a solid game. And the big 3 scores for DeLaSalle performing that role here. Whitlock knocks down both free throws. So DeLaSalle does get a few points as they try to chip away at this 15-point deficit. They're running out of time, though, with 6.5 to play. Another 3. Stevens with the rebound. No putback, and Everett knocked it away. It will stay North ball on the dead ball rebound. And you can't deny Gani Stevens forever. He will find a way to convert down low as he did there. 73-56. 3 on the way, short. And here is a chance for the Polars to put an exclamation point on this one. Stevens will do just that off the feed from Butler. And even though Gani Stevens has been limited, he's coming up with a couple of big plays here. Whitlock pulls up, drills the elbow jumper, but the margin is 17. Long skip, another 3. Jump ball, North with the arrow, 5:20 to go. And an intense second half between these two. Multiple techs, a delay of game. North loses the ball. DeLaSalle. Whoa! Kyle Johnson scores. He sends Butler coming and just ducked out of the way. Butler was slow to get up. Looks to be okay. That was a hard hit. $75-60. And if North hangs on to pick up this win, McCrimmon, he would get my player of the game. Wilson, the long skip to Butler. And he's called for traveling, so that is the stop DeLaSalle was looking for. Again, their biggest obstacle is time, 4:49 to go. It was back and forth. Remember, DeLaSalle ended the first half with momentum on that steal and run out, scored the first 2 buckets of the second half. It looked like they were going to have another back and forth duel with the Polars. A 14-0 run changed that. DeLaSalle hasn't been able to draw any closer since then. Kyle Johnson missing the 3. The Islanders have won 3 in a row. North entering the stretch run of their season. And speaking of stretches, Zayshawn Rich stretching every inch of his body to score the layup. Deep 3. Bullseye. Nasir Whitlock goes up to 20. 14-point game. But again, the enemy is time. Without a shot clock, North can work the clock, or they can go for the dagger. And Detrell McCrimmon delivers. McCrimmon had just 1 3-pointer entering this game. He has 4 here. And if North can develop a perimeter attack, if this is the start of some long-distance prowess, who knows? Minneapolis North, again, one of the favorites this year in Class 2A with Minnehaha not at the level they once were. Caledonia, another team to keep an eye on, and it's a little tougher in 2A with so many outstate schools. Larry McKenzie will call another timeout. 3:26 to go. That last 3 by McCrimmon should be enough to seal the win. I spoke with Trent Witz before the game, and he said, we tend to start slow, both in games and during the season. Part of that is the layover between football and basketball. We should point out that in a couple of weeks, Minneapolis North, if the situation doesn't unravel or doesn't collapse on itself, they will host the Breakdown Border Battle. With several Milwaukee teams making the trek to Minneapolis, and that should draw a crowd. The Breakdown, of course, likes to give several schools the opportunity to showcase events. Totino Grace was the host site for the Big 12 Showdown. You've got the Border Battle, a lot of great showcases for basketball around the state, and Minneapolis North will get to host one of them in a couple of weeks. What I'm wondering is, where are they going to find room for all the teams? A venue like Hopkins has a little more space to work with. DeLaSalle, they have to go high risk, high reward on defense, and that time they get the high reward as Whitlock got the steal and the layup, and that will be a traveling call as Stevens couldn't anchor himself in time. So DeLaSalle getting another stop, but again, I don't know if they have enough time. This time Whitlock was stripped on the way up, and Willie Wilson will go to the line for two. Just too many hurdles here for DeLaSalle to clear. They played well, but that 14-0 run by North that allowed them to go up by double digits, that was the catalyst in this win. That defense of North, and let's not forget the three-point shooting that up to this point had been missing. McCrimmon headlining the perimeter assault. And Butler and Sager and Anderson also chipped in with a triple of their own. DeLaSalle trying to hang around. Amir Everett drains the corner three. That'll bump him up to 12, but I just don't think there's enough time. Wilson. North running a quick set after they beat the press. Jacob Butler finishes with the score. And DeLaSalle stepped on the out-of-bounds line. Let's not forget the technicals either. DeLaSalle hit with 3 of them, and North converted in all of their free throws. So you take that away, and maybe the game is within reach. Now, North got hit with 1 as well, or they got hit with a couple, actually. But just several little things add up to what should be a big win here, but North is having some trouble in the late stages. Having some trouble finishing. They've been hit with traveling a few times. And that's just enough to give DeLaSalle a chance to stay in this. Nasir Whitlock, he's not ready to fold up as he drains the deep 3 from the top of the key to make it 84-71. And Whitlock, he has bumped his total up to 25. Foul on Everett. And Willie Wilson going to the line. North They were shooting 58% as a team from the free throw line before today's game. They are 19 of 22. I don't know if I'm a good luck charm or if I lucked out or if North perhaps has turned that proverbial corner, although they do miss the front end there. But several components that had been struggling to come to form in the first month of the season, they're coming into focus now. Free throws, three-pointers, it all adds up. Whitlock attacked the lane, and North will give him that. Don't need to do anything silly here. McCrimmon, he wants the dagger. He won't get it, but Butler is there, and McCrimmon is hurt. This is not good. McCrimmon withering in pain. And this could be a big blow to the Polars. We were just talking at the start of the broadcast and throughout the game about North feeling like they were at full strength for the first time this season. And the spark plug for this North performance today, he's going back to the training room. That is a tough break. He's trying, but he can't seem to put any weight on that right leg. He's going to get examined by the athletic trainer. Minneapolis North, they'll hang on for the win. Butler calling for it, and he goes, okay. Sager took it in himself. I think Butler wanted to finish it. Deep three goes in for Kyle Johnson. DeLaSalle will call a timeout. They have one remaining, but again, they're running up against time. 58.6 left. They trail by 13. I just don't think there's going to be enough time. 89-76. This was tabbed as a defensive battle when I spoke with the hoop czar. These are certainly two defensively sound teams, but Minneapolis North, they're not afraid to score in bunches either. It's the fourth time this season they have reached 80 points. And what they have done in the second half to open the floodgates offensively is too much for DeLaSalle to overcome. It was 31-29 at the half. Minneapolis North has scored 58 points in the second half. And sometimes the best defense is to run up the score. But now North is going to run out the clock and allow Butler a lane to drive through, and he does so with high efficiency. 60 points for the Polars, and that should be enough. Yep, they're pulling back. 60 second half points for the Polars, but it comes with a price. We'll have to see if Detrell McCrimmon is able to return from his injury. That would certainly be a blow to the Polars. He came up with 18 big points from the bench. 4 players, 5 actually in all, reached double digits, and it was an emotional second half filled with twists and turns and crazy plot developments. But the day belongs to Minneapolis North. They beat DeLaSalle once again, 91-76, the final. But again, a muted victory for the Polars as they wait to figure out the status of one of their own, Detrell McCrimmon, who came off the bench to score 18 points and make a huge difference in this one. With the win, North goes to 4-2. DeLaSalle falls to 6-4. And we'll have to wait and see what happens. But this is a fun Saturday matinee between two high-caliber teams. This is high school boys basketball.